This person says we need to wrap our heads around the fact that not all Americans share the same idea of America. I agree. I'm going to talk about three views of American history. First, the progressive or liberal view, which we can picture as an upward slope. You can see this is a sophisticated presentation with a graph. The liberal view is that the founders started with some pretty good ideas, a government that represents we the people. The problem was that they left out a lot of people. In fact, they included only white, well-educated, mostly landowning men. But as we've moved forward, we've expanded who is included in We the People, and as we did so, we've moved closer to the founding ideals. Some highlights along the upward slope. The Civil War ended slavery. The 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote. The New Deal allowed more people access by creating more fairness and equalizing opportunity. Brown v. Board of Education declared racial segregation unconstitutional. Then we got the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, and as a result, for the past 60 or so years, for the first time, we've moved toward a truly representative democracy. Now, progressives and liberals often look at this slope as if it's inevitable, or as if the liberal heroes of the past fought and won the battle, and now it's like we're in a boat and we don't even have to paddle. The wave of history and what is right and good will carry us toward a better, more inclusive tomorrow. Then what happened? Boom, the slope stopped going upward. Congress can't pass gun control laws. The Supreme Court's poised to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Trump-Fox Republican Party led us to this, and we've gone off the rails. People feel helpless and frustrated. Notice, each time we move forward, it was because of action by the federal government. The Civil War, the 19th Amendment, the New Deal, Brown v. Board of Education, civil rights legislation. It's important to keep this in mind because the reactionary or regressive view of history looks like this. According to this view, America started out good and pure. When the nation was young, it was a place of wide open opportunity. There was almost no federal government and almost no regulations. States, which were governed by a small group of white men, could do whatever they wanted. They could grab people and enslave them. They could grab land. Before the New Deal and modern regulatory agencies, they could fix prices and manipulate markets. It was a glorious age when people needed to take care of themselves without government help. Before modern sexual harassment laws, they could grab women, and if they succeeded, it was the woman's fault. Then what happened? The federal government kept growing bigger and bigger until it became a vast administrative state, spewing regulations that infringed on everyone's personal liberty. They think others are trying to take what belongs to them. They want to go backwards. They feel like we're on a downward slope, and if they don't act quickly, everything that is good about America will be destroyed and forever lost. Just yesterday, one of the insurrectionists told the judge that he was driven to act because of the stress he felt over being told that American cities were burning. They are driven to desperate action. What I've discovered from studying American constitutional history is that there's an upwardly sloping zigzag. What happens is this. Progressives push us forward, regressives push us back, but they never push us all the way back. For example, after the Civil War, we got 3 amendments, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery. Reactionaries pushed back by devising a criminal justice system that put lots of black men in jail and put them into chain gangs. The 14th Amendment offered due process and equal protection to all people. Reactionaries pushed back by saying that racial segregation didn't violate the Equal Protections Clause. The civil rights legislation moved us rapidly forward. What we're experiencing now is the backlash created by the civil rights movement. Heather Cox Richardson talks about 3 oligarchies in our history. The first was the era of slavery, when 1% of the population, wealthy slave owners, controlled all 3 branches of government. The Civil War put an end to that. The second was the age of robber barons. The New Deal put an end to that. As a result of Republican economic policies since the 1980s, we're again slipping into an oligarchy in which too few people control too much wealth. When we understand that it's a zigzag and not an upward slope, we stop falling into a funk every time there's a backslide. We look to the heroes of the past for guidance on how to move forward. Because we still have meaningful elections, the solution is for Democrats to win the next few elections with clear majorities so they can get that slope moving upward again.